Second game of the day, everybody. We are into our next matchup, and as you can see, it is going to be going up between Galaxy Racer and Tricked. It's going to be a pretty intense matchup, honestly. I think Galaxy Racer are on a massive spree of form right now, beating everybody except for XL, even including Singularity, which was a really nice win for them, and clearly are in a good space. They're going up against Tricked, though. Tricked did just lose to Fnatic yesterday. However, Tricked's still an incredibly strong team over in Group A right now, and so I do think this is going to be a very close matchup. I think Trouble, you did go for Galaxy Racer here. What's the reasoning behind choosing Galaxy Racer over Tricked?
I just honestly feel like they have found the way they want to play the game. They have two very solid solo laners, and then you have Monk, who I personally believe has been the shining star of the team. I know we joke about it, like Monk will carry Monk, but he has definitely been carrying in this team every single ADC that he's gotten. And I think the addition of Jakey and Wendelbo, giving that voice, especially having Wendelbo in the bot lane, calling the plays, making plays across the map, I think it's been so strong for them, and it's been showing that it's been very, very decisive.
Gonna see Lucian and Lulu band here, so the Lulu band coming through. We're going to see Renekton taken off the board, which does open up things like the Akali for Paulson should he want it. It does also open up things like the Lee Sin. The Xin Zhao gets taken away, no surprise there. It's been pretty popular for most junglers at this stage in the meta. And we'll see where Galaxy Racer choose to end things up. Anything big that hasn't been banned? Maybe the Rumble still open and available?
Yeah, Rumble, something that Galaxy Racer could themselves first pick. I think that, Tricked in general, they've really liked Lee Sin a fair amount throughout the course of this split. I think removing away Ezreal, in a way, does make sense, especially if you are eyeing up that Rumble first pick. It can be pretty good. And Tricked, I think, with that in mind, should maybe keep the Karma up in case they want to also take that. They have been a team that have been willing to pick up utility mages, so I imagine Karma is probably in their wheelhouse. And let's see, timer's getting pretty low. They've already removed away two pretty aggressive early game picks. Are they going to sort of stay on form with that? Let's see, Rumble. So, okay, so they're removing away the Rumble themselves, which for me, that leaves up, the Viego, the Gwen, the Akali. The list goes on and on and on and on. And it will be Akali for Galaxy Racer.
Imagine that Tricks pick up the Lee in response. I guess that's an obvious, with Renekton gone and Akali picked up, you'd want to take the Lee into the lane here, or at least have that option to do so. So Lee would be a relatively sensible early red pick, I think, for Tricked.
You have the Lee Sin, you also have the Nocturne if you want. I think it's very crucial to have something like the Nocturne, especially when you're playing against assassins. You sort of stop that aggression from going in. You can flex him in the jungle, you can flex him in solo lanes. Getting a very strong AD that can also be a flex. It does pretty good into Akali in the early. Has a lot of priority if you put her in a solo lane. Very aggressive if you put her down the bot lane as well. But I do like the Lee Sin call right here, because Taxa himself has said how fond of the Lee Sin he is, but Karma.
Gonna go for Karma. Interesting. Well, but like you mentioned before, though, Trouble, Karma's Karma is a big nullifying pick. She can kind of shut down things. But look at the dive comp from Galaxy Racer already. Akali, Nocturne. It's going to make actually negotiating these fights with Akali really hard, with the Nocturne being on her side as well. And then you have the dive potential of the Kai'Sa coming through. This is looking pretty nutty for Galaxy Racer, but it's coming out like a super defensive lineup right now for Trick, with the Karma. We'll see where they go for their final pickup here on R3.
Yeah, okay. Loads of strange hovers where some of them are kind of on the cusp of traditionally maybe good answers, but right now in this meta, maybe not. Lee Sin, I think it's just a really big trick pick. In particular, Madly, and obviously we know Taxa of old used to love Lee Sin, so still very much flexible. I think at the moment, Tricks just have to go down the fully reactive path of drafting right now. They can try, right, to at least have one form of engage, so they at least have the turn options, but you just look at the Galaxy Racer champions already, they're going to be the ones that are going to be proactive all the time. So I think for a team like Trick to have traditionally in the last 3 splits or so always had good reads on what's going on the map, I think you can actually potentially go without some of these strong engage options and just try and read what Galaxy Racer are going to do ahead of time.
Well,
Yeah,
sorry, I missed the T. You go.
Honestly, I would like to see maybe something like the set coming in from Trick, because
Yeah.
there's so many champions diving in from Galaxy Racer. There's definitely going to be a more tanky approach from the side of Galaxy Racer, right? Something like the Volibear, maybe Setsuwani, maybe a Leona might come in, maybe a Brom, something that will cause the fight to start. And as Set, I think, has been such a playmaker in general in the NLC. We've seen it in the Eastern regions as well. He's been like a priority pick. And I feel like, yeah, it really suits Tricked. And it also opens the triple flex between Karma, Lee Sin, and Set until the very last pick of Tricked.
And we kind of just sort of mentioned, right? Trick don't necessarily need like straight up engage options, but re-engage options into engage comps can be so powerful. And I think that's what Rise is set up in priority here potentially for Trick if they want it and it doesn't get banned out here. I think it's something that they definitely should be thinking about. We'll see what Galaxy Race want to ban. They've already removed away one sort of safety net support in Thresh.
Yeah.
Looks like they want to just remove away the Viego just because I feel like already there's quite strong champions for him to possess in Nocturne, Kali, and Kai'Sa, and that's probably going to get even worse, so they don't even want to run the risk of that champion being up and an option. And now I look over to Trick and say, okay, there's no jungle available right now. We've not seen Diana in the first game. This is maybe the time that you'd want to pull it out just because you've already got 2 AD solo laners potentially set up in the Lee Sin and Tristana. Could go for the AD pick here. Loads of options. They're going to go for the defensive Braum pick. I think that honestly makes a whole bunch of sense too.
I think when you look at the Galaxy Racer comp, they only have one angle, and that angle is we go in or we go home, right? So like, there's no point you trying to contest them on the go in or go home angle. You've got to say, well, we need to find the disengage. We need to find the peel back. We need to find the way to deal with that. And then once they've blown everything, we turn it around and actually kind of re-engage the fight and look for our opportunities. So I like the Braum pick a lot here. I mean, Galaxy Racer, they have an identity. They have an identity, and they are making that identity work right now. I mean, why not?
I mean,
To make it more obvious if it wasn't already?
Chuck Nocturne in the jungle, just throw Malphite up there. Yeah, no, I mean, loads of options, I suppose, for Jackie. It's just still, the jungle hasn't really been attacked that much. And there you go, Volibear, I think, just going to be the absolute sort of pinnacle of that. Yeah, Trouble mentioned it. Now they've got the ability to not only dive forward with basically every champion in the game that they're running, but they're going to be able to turn off the towers on top of that. So, yeah, Tricked. They've got a lot on their plate here. And now I think most likely looking at their jungle lock-in. I think Tristan's actually going to end up in the bottom lane. So, yeah, hold on. I'm doing the mental math. So I think this is going to be Tristbot. Yes, so Tristbot, solo lane Karma, Wukong. Tax is going to be piloting this Lee Sin. Interesting pickup. I think it's more for the matchup. I don't necessarily think Wukong fits the overall sort of characterization of the Tricked comp. But it's something that I know Manly does mind playing. So just looking at this for the matchup, I believe, to maybe give Trick some leverage somewhere on the map.
I quite like it, even on the defensive, when you have a Wukong, because when you have everyone piling up into the back line, it's such an easy cyclone. You leave your clone down there, it's like a triple cyclone. No one's going to be able to move. Now, the question is, how fast are Trick to react to a Rakan taunt when darkness goes down, right? I think this is what we're going to have to wait and see, because I think it's going to be after 6, Tricked are going to have to have eyes everywhere around their head, basically.
Yeah, Galaxy Racer's composition is just so impressive, man. It's so impressive. I think Tricked, like I've said, historically, been really, really good at reading the map. It doesn't matter what iteration we've seen them of in the past 3 splits. It's been one of their core strengths and identities as an organization. So hopefully it works out great for them in this game, because so much agency on the Galaxy Racer side of things.
But a lot of tools to deal with that agency from these guys. So well, let's see how it pans out. Right, let's head over to our casters and we'll jump into our second game of the night.
This Orcs is looking like a team comp that is very scary from Galaxy Racer. That is a lot of forward, that has a lot of R keys, and I think level 6, we're probably in for a bit of a fiesta in the bot lane, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, potentially could arise, but realistically, I feel like as much as there's big spikes at level 6, both these junglers can be very active in the early game, and I think that's why I like Jakey bringing in the Volibear here. Something like a Diana really takes to level 6 to come online, and obviously would tie in with that, but you actually have something with a lot more agency before that. So I think what Tax and Jakey do to set up the lanes at that point is going to be really interesting. But also, something I'm noting is that Monk has cleanse. And realistically, the only thing you're actually cleansing on the other team is probably just the Braum stun. And that kind of suggests to me that I expect to see, no surprise here, but Monk and Wendell going a little bit aggressive in the bot lane and trying to find some windows. So I feel like as much as 6 is a massive spike for Galaxy Racer, expect a bit of action before that as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we'll probably see a pretty aggressive game overall. But I mean, once you got the level 6 mark, my point is more as you got the paranoia, you go to the tower off with the volley bear, and if Denvox and Lucky aren't set up for this dive, they're gonna really feel it.
Yeah, for sure. I think there is something to be said with there's kind of an expectation of priority in the mid lane for Paulson. One of the big things we see people when they leave the Akali open is ensuring that you have a way to have priority against them. So obviously the Akali has a massive amount of impact in that mid game, really comes online then, and then even the late game is such a monster in the team fights and the skirmishes. The early game, you can be harassed a bit. You can be shoved under tower. You can sort of be unable to move as easily as other champions. So really, I think that's the kind of advantage that Tricked are going to be looking at that they should look to capitalize on.
Well, defensive line getting drawn up here by the side of Tricked. On the side of Galaxy Racer, placing a couple of wards down, resetting and getting their sweepers. Other than that, it just looks like it's red side starts for both Taxa and Jakey. I mean, these junglers won't be on the same side of the map as each other, so if we do see early ganks coming out, it's going to be on the other to make sure they've read that play and are there to kind of counter gank. Otherwise, could have a numbers advantage on wherever they decide to go.
And honestly, I feel like top is such a good place to gank in this game. Neither top laner has flash. Both have ignite. So obviously, a lot of extra pressure when you're looking for like a gank 2v1. That extra ignite is going to help kill a target. But obviously, no flash makes them a little bit vulnerable. Whereas, I mean, I look towards the bot lane, and unless one side of the bot lane's pushed up really far or going over aggressive, it's going to be a bit tricky to find something, with the fact that obviously Braum and Rakan both relatively safe when it comes down to supports.
Well, it's a bit... Seeing exactly what's going on. Actually, so Jakey did his Raptors and his red and then left his Krugs. So he's looking to clear up extra quick towards this top side of the map. Taxa looking to do a full clear of his red side jungle while Denvox actually feeling, again, a little hypey into the face of Monk and Wendell, but the concussive blows will wear off before they can get stacked up.
Yeah, able to find the priority and just throw it on a level 2, but realistically, again, very hard to find something. Kai'Sa, Monk specifically playing pretty defensive there, but also just Rakan, such a safe pick and hard to pin down, especially with the Braum. So not too much will come. But yeah, as you said, we saw Jakey go for the 5 camp clear, which frees you up to sort of be a bit more proactive early. Obviously, Volley Bear, his clear is pretty fast, but he's not on the same level as some of those power farmers that we see. And this has put him in position where, you have a Nocturne top lane, and one of the strengths of Nocturne solo lane is particularly top. He just always has priority. His shoving power and his passive and his Q is huge. They're actually nerfing that. I believe it's scheduled for 11-14, because just the way he can always shove a lane in and set up plays like this is a massive advantage.
Yeah, looking to bring him in. Teleports are on madly. Gonna pop out the clone, and that's the teleport forced from Paulson. For honestly nothing for Galaxy Racer. They didn't even take a tower shot. I think Khan did.
I have to give respect to Galaxy Racer for seeing the teleport, going, okay, the Wukong's invisible. We're not going to kill him. Let's just back off. We burn that TP. T-Ball gets some alone time in the mid lane, and we're talking about how Karma has priority. Obviously did have priority there, but gives your mid laner a little bit of space. So pretty free overall for Jakey, but T-Ball.
Yeah, they found the kick onto Tibble. He's able to jump away, gets a fair amount of damage in responses. Here comes Jakey. The Sky Splitter's on. The really knock-up is there. And Wendell will secure first blood.
Really solid play. I love the flash stun from Jakey and the confidence from Wendell to follow that up immediately. We see Taxa actually get the flash off, but still was within the grand entrance from Rakan, so caught out by that. Just really nice play coming in to punish that bit of aggression as a T-Ball, and it was kind of unwarranted because I know Taxa did burn T-Ball's flash, but you weren't going to kill the Akali there. Oh, Monk, they're being killed.
Supercharge is on. The flash is there as he dodges out on the Winter's Bite, but he's going to take some serious damage. Monk just over greedy. Didn't have a support with him. Went very hard up as Wendell tries to trade back, but it's not going to be quite as effective.
And the thing is, there was no reason for Monk to be there. I want to give even more praise to Wendell. That was a good time to roam. You can see the wave stacked up. It's going to push into bot lane. As long as you return bot before the wave hits the tower, Monk is completely fine. But Monk ended up stepping up. And as a result, loses the flash. And now Wendell.
Now it's Wendell who's going to get locked up by the concussive blows. Lucky put the wall up to block, and Galaxy Racer are going to be able to survive this for now, but they are playing with fire a little bit here in this bot lane. Maybe feeling comfortable because Jakey's about. But Jakey will be spotted out on the ward, so Trick can just walk away.
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty fine matchup for Trick because traditionally we've seen Tristana come in as a bit of a counter to Kai'Sa. Obviously, Kai'Sa wants to try and proc a passive, but if you're letting Tristana stack up the bombs, you will win the trade. And then on top of that, yes, Rakan is typically seen as good into Braum. But Braum being able to block the damage just means as long as Lucky and Devox now are in sync, staying together, they will win most trades and most all-ins. But, you know, I like seeing Wendell make the moves and be proactive on the map because that's something that Rakan does have an advantage with.
He can't take a lot of damage. The Ignite Cyclone, and he is cut.
Oh, the level up.
Rakan leveled up in time. Able to survive. Meanwhile, Tibber trying to jump onto Poulsen. Poulsen able to survive for now, as in the bot lane, then Voxney took out Monk.
Yep, getting punished a fair bit there in this bot lane 2v2. Not quite able to see what happens, but Monk did have that cleanse, did burn it, but obviously doesn't really do much to stop the damage. Now coming in.
Looking to try and find the turnaround here from Kakan as the clone's being used, and Kakan is bopped. Madly finds the kill. Now Jakey not got that level 6 mark, but Madly, no Cyclone available. Sky Splitter shield into the damage, into the maul, and Madly will lose his life. Bear beats Monkey.
Yeah, Bear beats Monkey. I guess that's what we learn, but Kakan, you didn't need to go in so early. That was kind of a bit of an early engage. You were low on HP. You committed to the play, even though Jakey was going to turn up anyway, and then you end up getting punished pretty substantially for it.
Well, the Dragon will be picked up here for Trick. This is going to be their prize for all of the action that has been going down. Then Voxney now rocking the pickaxe while there's a Noon Quiver onto Godmonk. Or Monk, as we call him.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the title of God in this game.
No. I mean, in this tournament, if we're going to be honest. He has historically not the greatest win rate.
True. Definitely had moments, but still, I am yet to be a believer in the Church of Monk. Remains to be seen.
I'd seen the moments. I had seen these big moments. Back when the UKLC was our main league, and he was on M&M as their AD carry, and we saw him play like the Cogmore. Whenever he pulled Cogmore out, those are the big Monk moments. I have to see whether or not you can kind of return to that form, as it does look like they're setting up for a little something here. Monk just trying to play the baiting game, but
2-level lead between AD carries here, though. I mean, Monk did just hit 5, but the ult from Tristana is so threatening. The all-ins, like really high base damage. Monk has to be so careful. As clearly wasn't being too careful before. Now they are looking mid. I don't think there's too much you can do here, though, against Nakali. So
she's not pinned down
much. Yeah, a little bit too mobile. And we have.
Go on. Go
okay,
on.
I'll go. We've kind of hit that level 6 point we're highlighting. You know, there's been a fair bit of action before then, but now we have access to Paranoia. We have Perfect Execution and Taxi. He started this Herald, but it looks like Galaxy Racer want to contest a note. Their bot lane is coming and they're going to be here soon.
Yeah, they got the Shuriken flip onto Taxa already. Tibber dives in, dives out. Madly becomes a helicopter as he bops up into the air. But here comes Wendell, gets kicked back, and the knock-up is enough to disengage them. They pick up the Rift Herald, but they lose their top laner.
I expected a little bit more there, honestly, in this situation. Essentially, Trick able to disengage pretty quickly. The bot lane move from Galaxy Racer, obviously guaranteeing that Trick don't want to fight that, but the end result is Monk didn't do anything there. Monk roamed all the way up, saw the fight, got a nice little maybe picture for the memory box, and now he's gone back bot lane with Devoxney stealing away his plates, and now be a bit careful always against the Tristana in this situation.
Yeah, especially when you're not 1v1 because you got the minions. Your Captain Rain can't completely channel onto Devoxney, so Den just able to come out better on that trade. Noon Quiver now picked up for Devoxney. He's got the boots. He has just a lot of components in his inventory, while Monk is only rocking the Noon Quiver at the moment. Although Monk probably will be resetting at some point and trying to keep pace with Monk. And Monk obviously got that kill, so has a bit more gold to work with. No dragon spawning up for 2 minutes, so I feel we'll have a little lull in the action until Taxa decides to place his Rift Herald down, or if they decide to go for dragon. They could honestly just use it in the mid lane to get priority as the dragon spawns, something we do typically see.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams have this tendency now, because mid is such a pivotal tower to take and so important. We see teams throw down the Herald mid, they take 2 plates, essentially, they get that gold, and then it sets it up for when you get the second Herald, where typically 2 Heralds will take any tower in most scenarios.
So we see Monk's actually picked up a BF sword on his base, so just looking for as much flat AD as possible and so evolve that Acafian Rain. It actually hasn't got it yet. It's almost there, but it's not quite there yet.
And this is new to me. Yeah, early BF sword Kai'Sa. Normally we typically see like Serrated Deer come out as that early option. I guess in theory, if Monk doesn't want to go towards a lethality item, it could make sense. But, you know, when I think lethality items, Serpent's Fang is pretty strong. You're up against the Karma. I think that has a lot of value. I don't see who else on your team would build it. So I personally actually would buy the Serrated Dirk in this game. And then a Serpent's Fang would serve you pretty well in team fights.
Yeah, I actually agree, but it is one of those times where, like, you know, we used to see the Collector a lot. Wendell, you're locked down. You're knocked up. You're going to be able to jump away. If the cast comes down, the Ignite is ticking. Wendell able to survive thanks to all of that, just about. As now Jakey, he's the one getting chased onto. The Maul's there. They're trying to stack the concussive blows. And one by one, Galaxy Racer walking into the bush where they know Tricked are. Jakey going to do it once again. This time not going to get hit. They're trying to defend this tower, but they are struggling to do so at this moment in time. Teleports may be necessary. This tower's going to continue to get poked out. Here comes the teleport. Into the back, they've got the Paranoid, they've got the follow teleport as well. Everybody is joining into the action. It's going to be an absolute brawl in the bot lane. We did predict this, but it's Tibor who now going to be able to jump in, jump out to safety. Tricked, trying to place his Herald, but the denial is going to be enough. Here comes the Herald place, and with the Dragon spawning up, does feel like Trick should be able to pick this one up, as they may just be looking for this dive even so. They've still got the Rift out for the charge, and Khan's looking to try and stop them Voxney from getting close. Charge is going to go down. Tower plates are going to fall. The tower will survive, but Trick still have all of the pressure.
I mean, honestly, what a fiesta right now. But as you said, Paranoia down, Perfect Execution down. I don't think Galaxy Racer are in a good position to fight this. And I mean, that's not even a fight. That's just Jakey getting picked. And now Wendell could be in trouble. With your jungler down and your solo lane has already moved off, this could be an easy opportunity for Trick to take that first tower. And obviously, Dragon is going to be a bonus.
Just feels like Galaxy Racer just don't have the answer right now to this. Second Dragon's going to get picked up. We're going to be looking at an Infernal Soul this game as well, which is a really nice one to be able to pick up. As Den Voxney will be able to pick up first turret blood with plates and solo on the local gold as well. So that's a lot of gold injected into him. You can see
that is a big
1,800 gold lead over Monk right now.
And the thing is, you get so much value from gold on this Tristana, specifically because you have Braum and you have a Karma, and these champions are essentially increasing the value of a Tristana. You know, having that passive from the Braum, having the shielding to support a carry, then Voxney being fed makes such a massive difference, especially when you look at what he has done for this team. When consistently as an AD carry, he's been one of the players who has stepped up and has been able to carry. Now, it does put a target on his head. I look at Galaxy Racer again. We talked about the composition. I feel like they have answers to a fed AD carry, but it's really going to come down to execution. And we saw in that fight in the bot lane, they weren't really able to find the windows in. And Tricked, grouped up as 5, have a lot of strength. Just being able to fire that passive for the Braum, have the Karma shielding. And as long as they stick tight, they should be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they really should as well. As we look at the items as well, they're now starting to finish up all of their mythics other than Lucky. Well, it's just the Riftmaker and Stridebreaker onto Galaxy Racer, so still waiting for that Kraken Slayer. Obviously, Monk took a 1,300 gold detour into the BF sword, so he's going to be a ways away before he finishes up that Kraken Slayer. Well, Den Voxney probably will have the Phantom Dancer finished or near about finished at the same time, as they may just look to jump into Paulson to try and inject some gold into them. Here's the Paranoia. They've got the lockdown. They've got the CC necessary. Monk is going to jump forward and going to make sure that he picks up the kill. Meanwhile, at the blue buff, Tibor spotted out by Lucky, but not really under any kill pressure. It is a Braum versus Akali.
And it's just Paulson being a little bit out of position there, not on the same page as the rest of his team. I think you could just back off, play respectful. You don't really need to be defending up and out.
Oh, Demvoxny able to jump away. Jakey's trying to find it as the Void Seeker gets flashed away by Demvoxny. Monk didn't have ultimates, so they probably couldn't continue the chase, but Taxa will be able to pick up the second Rift Tail for his team. And Tricked, honestly, looking really confident right now in this game. The gold lead definitely doesn't tell the tale of the game state.
Yeah, I feel like there, you know, we have the extra knowledge. Obviously, Demvoxny could have not been alerted about the ult for the Kai'Sa being down or not needing to flash, but obviously a little bit overextended. And you can see Galaxy Racer looking to answer back, finding those windows, finding players who are split to get these opportunities, but it's still very much Tricked who are like running with the momentum of the game. They have 2 dragons. They've just taken down their second tower. They have that Herald to throw down mid, and as a result, still feeling pretty comfortable.
Well, 2 minutes until the dragon spawns up, meaning probably going to see some action around there. The Gale Force has now been finished up for Monk. But you got the Zeal and the Longsword on Demvoxny, so that Phantom Dancer well and truly on its making. As also Paulson will be walking towards that Chem Tank Purifier. So his shielding will give all of his team Grievous Wounds because of the AoE shielding. Really nice item for him.
I swear that item is so broken, especially a comp like this one with Karma. You AoE shield everyone. Everyone applies 60% Grievous Wounds when they auto attack, and you're with 4 auto attackers. So it's so easy to apply, especially when you look at like everyone on Galaxy Racer has some healing. You know, whether it's like looking at Jakey's Divine Sundra, the Rift Maker for Tibor, or just like the innate kits of a Nocturne and a Rakan. And when you have everyone with a bit of healing and everyone on your team applying Grievous Wounds, you are getting value off the back of that. So that's why it's been such a powerful option in the current meta. On top of that, the stats have just generally been good.
Well, it looks like they're looking for a collapse. Jakey trying to contest Taxa, but Taxa's making his way over.
Let's
and it
talk
doesn't
a little
look like
bit
they're
about...
not going to fight yet.
We can talk a little bit before this breaks off about what each team needs. So for Tricked, they have really good single target damage. One target at a time they are great at dealing with the help of the Braum.
Oh no.
So as I say that,
Monk has to ult defensively. They do get the chance to multiple members. Here comes Jakey into the backline already. Monk still low. Has to get bot back by the Buster Shot. Tibor making his way forward. Comes into the flash. Finds himself one shutdown. Got the Killer Instinct into the double. Shuriken flip for the triple kill. And Tibor now knocked up by the Cyclone underneath the tower. The shielding's on and he is down. Madly looking to try and mop this fight up. Kakan is low HP and Monk cannot rejoin. Jakey being slowed down, being rooted, being locked down. Scott Monk trying to put the damage in, but Madly will be able to secure the kill for his mid laner. And Monk has nowhere to go. The monkey comes in. And Madly, for one last monkey bot, is all he's going to need. The blast cones will provide the safety for Monk, and Madly will take him out.
And it ends up actually being in favor of Trick, despite the fact that Demvoxny went down and Tibor had such a pop-up performance. In the longer fight, Trick end up coming out ahead. The instant impact of these ultimates from Galaxy Racer found an advantage. Things got a little bit messy. We saw Demvoxny in trouble, but just the value of the Karma Wukong really paying off in the extended fight. And now, because Trick died sooner, they're back on the map. They're able to take this dragon and secure their third, and it's an Infernal Soul as well.
I mean, it was a really nice engage from Wendell, but Monk was just chunked out too early because he got caught. That's the problem.
Yeah. No reason for him to be here. Rakan can because Rakan has so much safety. But then this engage, they throw the ults down, big AoE. Then Voxney is too close and ends up getting taken down. So initially this looks favored, but then... Oh, never mind. We don't get a chance for replays.
Coming out, they're looking for the knockout. They've got the Paranoia on already. Demvoxny has jumped away to safety. Stopwatch has been used, and now the turnaround is coming in for Trick. They're looking for the kill onto these members. Demvoxny's putting out some serious damage, and Madly on a rampage. Meanwhile, Monk is zoned out, and Paulson will be able to tidy him up. The charge from the Herald as well, just to bop the tower down. 3 for 1 in favor of Trick. As Taxa not done, he's done. He's going to make sure this charge goes down, though. He's going to have to be one hell of a mop-up from Tibor, who comes in with the Killer Instinct. Into the Shroud he goes, misses the Shuriken flip. That might just be enough to save Taxa's life, as he's caught on the minions, as he's trying to get the 5-point strike off. They get the concussive blows. Tibor continuing to chase onto Taxa. One last auto attack is all he's going to need. There's the Shuriken flip. There's the tidy up. And now Madly will be hunting down Tibor.
We do see Lucky able to get away, and honestly, just what a fiesta. This game has just exploded, and I think with these two team compositions, we kind of expected a lot of fighting and a pretty big mess. And really, it's the skirmishes, as we would expect in this meta, who've been flourishing. Madly looking so good on this Wukong, T-Bone the Akali as well. On the other side, Demvoxne and Godmug, even Demvoxne had a great laning phase, was really far ahead. Just kind of felt like a non-factor in these team fights because he's just getting stomped by all these divers. And it's really down to the execution of them rather than the AD carries. We'll get a replay here. So Lucky a little bit overextended, warding solo, no support from the jungler. And we see the rest of the team come in to try and save him. He does actually survive for quite a while with that stopwatch, but great kick from Taxa. But then look how much damage Jakey does to Demvoxne. That Divine Sundra bonus damage allowing him to just absolutely explode him. But we still see Trick to clean up. We don't get full replays. More fighting.
Paranoia is on. They've got the fear, but there's not really any backup as Jakey trying to find Taxa. The Paranoia is already up. The tower's been turned off, and Wendell's coming in. Poulsen knocked up, charmed up onto two members, and Poulsen's shielding is just too much. Wendell is going to go down, and Tibble all alone. Going to make his way back towards Monk as the rest of the team are coming in. Tibble, stop watching! I think you might be dead, friend. They're going to chase over, and that is the kill. The shutdown for Demvoxne. Oh, what a fat finger.
That has to be the fumble. Oh, and this could actually lead to Trick starting up the Baron. 5 members strong against 3. Even if Galaxy Racer contests this, I feel Trick are confident to turn it. And on top of that, Lee Sin with the self-shielding, Poulsen with his shielding as well. This is a very healthy Baron, and it looks like Galaxy Racer are very aware they can't contest this. What a misplay from T-Bone. We've been praising him, not just in this game, but pretty consistently throughout the split, but he just makes such a big mistake in that clutch moment.
That is... It happens, but man, does it feel bad when it happens. Let's have a look at the fight again. Hopefully we can finish a replay.
Yeah, so things actually look pretty solid for Galaxy Racer, but the shielding comes in from Poulsen, and that kick from Taxa buying a bit more time. They just run out of gas in the tank. Tibor, I think he must have had his hands in the wrong place on his keyboard. I'm assuming went to hit E and then hit 3 maybe instead for the Zhonya's, because it looked like he was lining up to flip over the wall, right, to get away. Ends up just stasing in possibly the worst spot ever. So really unfortunate. Now we're seeing about a 5k gold lead for Tricked, and this is Infernal Soul in the next minute. Now, I haven't really had a chance to talk about this. I've been trying to, but the action's been too frequent. Galaxy Racer want to find that impact with those ultimates, want a quick fight where they can just explode members of Tricked, and these skirmishes can find value. But in the longer fights, Tricked are really happy. The Braum passive, the Karma shielding all have a ton of value, especially when they can stay tight-knit and just deal with one target at a time.
No. Okay, don't worry. I'm getting a little bit too paranoid here. The Paranoia is available to Kakan. He's got the Ignite. He's got the Teleport. Dragon spawning up in 30 seconds, and it is very Trick's favor. They look to jump on the Dembox. He's sliding straight in onto him. He's going low. He's going down. Kakan's able to find the kill. Can they find more? Or is that going to be all she wrote? A nice blow up there, but 3 ultimates expended to kill Demvoxne, and Trick now feeling comfortable to try and turn this one back around. It's going to be on Tibble to find the turn. Madly spotted out on the ward. Tibble jumps in onto Poulsen, gets himself in the stopwatch for the moment, tries to disengage. Can Madly catch out in time? Kakan comes in. That's the 4-man knockup. There's a kick back onto Monk. Means he's out of the fight for the moment. They find a shutdown onto Poulsen. The shielding is down. Tibble being chased by Madly. The Cyclone is on. Tibble will lose his life. No stopwatch available to him. As Jakey goes for the lockdown. They look for another knockup. And Monk tried to kite, tried to fight, but he can't quite find it. It's a double kill. Picked up from Madly. That's the triple kill. Now Jakey next up to be taken down. Madly comes in with the quadra kill. And Trick just pop off in the fight.
Even with their AD carry going down, Trick still come out strong in the fight. And as you said, 3 ults down for that pick on a Demvoxne. And although obviously it's what Galaxy Racer wanted, we talked about how they needed to find that instant impact with their ultimate. They didn't have gas in the tank to finish them out this house. So they killed Demvoxne, a great start. But again, so much committed. And then we watch how the fight plays out. Ideally, Galaxy Racer want to quickly kill another target to find a numbers advantage. And they start to look for Poulsen, that Karma having so much value in the longer fights. But what ends up happening is that Trick just gets so much repeated value and are able to stay as a tight-knit unit. Consistently, they're finding these AoE shields, the Braum passive being applied consistently, and the likes of Taxa and Madly able to constantly proc it and just beat everyone up, really, in these close range fights. And really well executed from Trick. A lot of confidence to still opt in for the fight despite losing the ready carry, but it definitely paid off, and it was able to secure them that Infernal Soul.
And now with Soul, it felt like hard fights have just gotten harder. Like every time Galaxy Racer found like a good pick, it's been because Madly's not there. And then Madly just shows up and pops everyone. He's 9, 2, and 5 on the Wukong. Building on that Sterix, he's got a stopwatch in his inventory. It's so hard to punish him right now.
The problem is,
I genuinely don't know how Galaxy Racer can.
The problem is, it's like he's doing as much damage as like Voxney is, except he's also really tanky, and he's getting Karma Shield and all that jazz. So it just becomes so difficult because Wukong is inherently a hard target to pin down and kill. But when he's doing so much damage and just shredding through everyone, there's not many good options. Galaxy Racer are a very short-range composition, and Wukong really thrives on that. On top of that, Karma Braum also great at dealing with these short-range compositions.
Oh, with a Buster Shot and with a kick as well. It's so easy just to knock the Galaxy Racer members out. As Wendell, that was most of his health bar.
Yeah, I think most, definitely, almost all is another way of describing it. Massive amount. Kind of shows the difficulty of the Rakan in these situations. Is that yes, you can have a big impact with your ultimate, but you're also so close to going down just with a little bit of damage coming through. Trick not wanting to overstep here. Obviously, do have the Infernal Soul, but no Baron buff, so just going to reset, going to set up their waves again, and just get control of the Baron area. You can see pings coming out. Ideally, they want to clean the vision in the area pretty extensively because they don't want to give Galaxy Racer any opportunities for flanks, because I think that's a window where maybe they could find a bit more success. But realistically, at this time, it's kind of hard for Galaxy Racer as long as Madly exists. You know, if he stops existing, they'll be in a much better spot. But it's been a bit of a thorn in their side.
Well, they might be looking for a quick pick, but don't have the vision to work with, so Galaxy Racer have to back off. And that's going to be the big problem for them now, is the vision.
I will say, though, because Lucky...
They're looking for Demboxing. He is caught out by the charm. The paranoia is on, jumping onto the backline. Had to bolt away because here comes the scary monkey. Kick's going to land from Taxa. He follows it in. Instantly stunned up, but gets himself the Dragon Rage off. Into the Glacial Fissure. Jakey knocked up. Jakey has to jump away with the ulti, but they continue to chase him down. And Demboxney starting to take names here. Flashes into Wendell's face. Finds himself the double kill. And now Kakan goes into the stopwatch. They don't have the minion wave to work with quite yet, but the continued dive will be short to come as Lucky just eats up most of the Akapian rain. The tower will go down, and Taxa leading the charge here for Tricked. It's Galaxy Racer running out of options in this game, running out of time. They had a scary dive comp, but they were just turned onto constantly. Kakan gets a big shield off, but here goes Taxa for the tidy up, for the next kill. Taxa's on a killing spree. Demboxney looking to kill Tibor. They only have a couple of minions left, but they can still close this one out. Godmonk back to the fountain. And Tricked, 21 kills in 28 minutes. Take out Godsend. Galaxy Racer. That was the last game. That was the last game.
You gotta, you know,
there's a lot of G's in
Godmonk. You see Godmonk and you think Godsend, you know? But Tricked managed to win that one. I think they played that comp really well. Got to give credit to Madly on the Wukong. Absolute monster on that champion, but also Taxa on his specialty that at least didn't really clean. And all I have to say really for Galaxy Racer is you got to press that tab button. You'll look at the enemy team's items, because when there's a big fight coming up, like around that Baron, you know they're going to be buying the stopwatches. And that engage, it was a little bit whiffed. But even so, you know, the fact that they didn't have the stopwatch and they committed so heavily ended up backfiring. But obviously, things were looking rough long before that, but we'll let our analysts break that down.
We absolutely will. It's time for them to come up and talk about this. But actually, before that, it's a break. I'm terrible at my job. Apparently, I can't do break throws. We'll see you in a moment.